All right, hello and welcome to Optimal Health Solutions. My name is Rob Kandetsky, and this presentation we're going to be going over water. So this is part 3 of our toxin-free challenge. And in this challenge, we're going to be discussing specifically water and some of the things you need to watch out for, some things to be aware of, things you may or may not know already about certain types of water, how to find contaminants, how to find out what's in your water, as well as how to address the issues. And we're also going to provide some solutions that we've found that work for us and some of the other things that we've done to take our water to the next level. So let's get started. So again, just real quick, this information is for educational purposes only. It's not meant to substitute the advice provided by your own physician or other medical professionals. The results reported may not necessarily occur in all individuals. Your results may vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and the products that we mention in this presentation are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. So, water. Bottled or tap, which is better? This is a very popular topic that's being talked about today. People are starting to understand that the plastics may or may not be good for us. So, but then again, is there stuff in our tap water? Are some bottled waters nothing but tap water? So we're going to get into that right now. So bottled plastic water, as I call it, not plastic bottled water, but it's in fact bottled plastic water. Over 70% of plastic bottles don't get recycled. Instead, they end up in our waterways and oceans. Most plastics also are not biodegradable. They just break down into smaller pieces called microplastics. And scientists have even discovered plastic now in rain in micro form. The EWG, which is the Environmental Working Group, found 38 pollutants in over 10 different brands of bottled water, including chemicals linked to cancer. So not only is bottled water bad for your health and environment, it's also bad for your wallet, because if you do the math as far as dollars per gallon, if we think gas is expensive, take a look at bottled water. It's significantly more per gallon. And when you look at the cost of it in your own home, it's less than, I think it's like 0.02 cents per gallon. It's very, very low, especially when you compare it to the bottled water you're finding in stores. Now, the reason why I call it bottled plastic water, people are consuming about 5 grams of plastic each week, which is the equivalent to a credit card. And this was according to an analysis done by the World Wildlife Fund, and it was carried out by the University of Newcastle in Australia. And so imagine eating a credit card's worth of plastic every week. Obviously, you're not chewing on a credit card, but you're consuming that same weight of plastic every week. They found that the single largest source of plastic ingestion is through bottled water. So that's just a reason why once I discovered this, we said no more to bottled water. Now here's another thing that I recently discovered. Thinking, okay, well then I'll just get, reusable bottled water. You got to be careful with the bottles that you reuse for your water as well. There was a recent study I found that showed that the number of chemicals, there's over hundreds of chemicals in the water from these reusable plastic bottles. And even after you put them through the dishwasher, that heat and those chemicals that are in your dishwashing detergent increases the number, multiplies the number of chemicals that are now available in that water. As we can see here, the plasticizer and things like that, it's basically showing a spectrum. Okay, so this is, things that they're detecting after they go through this process. So you've got, nasties to begin with. You put it in, here's the chemicals that are being used in your dishwashing detergents. And then afterwards, and this is even after they rinsed it thoroughly with tap water, they still found a very high number of chemicals in the reusable plastic bottles. So don't even, this is why we're moving towards just all stainless steels and glass bottled water for our home. And then you may have seen some of these canned bottled waters. I actually did a test on Liquid Death, comparing it to the water that we drink. And one thing that people may or may not know is that aluminum cans are lined with plastic. So this was an experiment that was done. They took a Coke can and they submerged it in, drain cleaner. So they buffed off the outside to get it to bare aluminum, and then they submerged it in drain cleaner, which eroded, dissolved the aluminum. And this is what's left. There's a plastic liner in every single can. And the reason is because they don't want the aluminum leaching into the beverage. Well, but then you have plastic also leaching into the beverage. So it's a lose-lose either way. So this was something that just recently I discovered. And obviously it's kind of discouraging, really, because you think, okay, well, I'm doing something better. Aluminum is more recyclable, and that's true. The amount of aluminum is recycled more than plastic, but when you've got plastic inside it, it's not really good for you either. So what about tap water? Is chlorine safe to drink? Well, chlorine destroys our good bacteria in our body. It alters and destroys the EFAs, the building blocks of our human brains and central nervous system. The long-term risks of consuming chlorinated water include excessive free radical formation, which accelerates aging, generates dangerous toxins in the body, increases vulnerability to genetic mutation and cancer development. It hinders cholesterol metabolism, promotes hardening of the arteries. There's a higher risk of cancer, mainly the bladder, kidney, and rectal are the big ones. It can lead to liver malfunction, and it can also lead to weakening of the immune system. Well, what are we seeing in our society today? We're seeing cancer and autoimmune disease just on the rise, just blowing up like crazy. What's one common thing that we all need every single day of our lives? We need water. And whether we're bathing in it or whether we're drinking it, chances are it has chlorine or byproducts of chlorine. We use chlorine in the US to kill off all the bacteria and things in the pipes. Well, what makes you think it's now inactivated once it reaches your body? It's still going to do that job, but we don't want it to kill the bacteria in our body. That's the good stuff. We want to keep that. So showering and bathing in chlorinated water, one will absorb and inhale more chlorine in a 10-minute shower than by drinking 8 glasses of the same water. You also inhale chloroform, which is a carcinogenic, can cause cancer. So that's a byproduct of chlorine, especially a warm shower. So your skin, your pores, they open up more, and now you're absorbing that through your skin, and it's going right to your organs, it's going right into your body. There's no defense mechanism like your stomach and your digestive system to try to combat any of it like your system normally would for toxins. So it's getting right in there and it's doing its thing. So that's another thing that you need to be aware of. So is there anything else in your tap water you should be concerned about? Absolutely there is. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick for us. So just clicking a link here, this is EWG. And this is the Environmental Working Group. I mentioned them before. And you can go here right now and you can go to ewg.org/tap water. And then you can enter your zip code in here. I'm going to pick an old one from back home. This is where I used to grow up. And so this was in New Jersey. We can see there's 41,000 people, almost 42,000 people served at this utility. And one thing I remember growing up about this place is they mentioned, and they were proud to say that they had fluorinated water. They were putting fluoride in the water to give us all healthy smiles. Well, now we're knowing that fluoride is bad for us, but let's see if it pops up here. So what the EWG does is they've looked at, and this is as of 2001 now, they've updated it. They've looked at, I don't know how many thousands of water utilities across the US, and they have established safe standards for what they feel and what they've discovered in scientific research and articles and PubMed published things and things like that on what is a safe level of contaminants for humans versus the EPA guidelines, which haven't been updated. It says right here on the site, almost 20 years. So this is a very helpful site to see and gain an understanding of what is in your water that's coming into your home that you're drinking and bathing in. So as we can see in this, there's 13 that exceed their health guidelines, not necessarily the EPA guidelines, but EWG's recommended guidelines. Some of them may or may not have an EPA legal limit, like as we can see here. These right here, chloroform, we just mentioned chloroform, no legal limit. And there's actually even hexavalent chrome. And that, guys, I'm surprised by that, because that was something that was on, was Aaron Brockovich. If you all remember that movie, hexavalent chrome was what got into their water and was causing all sorts of cancerous problems, things like that. There's still no legal limit today. And that was decades ago. So as we can see here, there's quite a bit of contaminants. Now, if we look into these, okay, so let's pick arsenic. Now, arsenic is nasty for you, right? I think that's rat poison. Potential effect, cancer. This one, cancer. This one, potential effect, harm to the thyroid. I have a thyroid condition. I wonder if I got it living here. Chloroform, cancer. Hexavalent chrome, cancer, 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 this one doesn't have one, cancer, cancer, and cancer. So the nice thing about this, you can also get further education on these contaminants by clicking on the details. It'll tell you where they're coming from. So arsenic is a potent carcinogen, common contaminant in drinking water, causes thousands of cases of cancer each year in the US. So you can click and you can dive in more. But at this utility, it was found to be 27 times their recommended guideline. And the legal limit, as you can see, is way over here, 10 parts per billion. Their guideline says, well, we say 4,000ths of that. So it's like, okay, well, we're at 0.108 here, and legally that's fine, but hey, it's 27 times more than what we should be doing. So this is a very good resource to use, ewg.org/tap water. Go ahead and pop in the comments right now, put your zip code in there, just pop in the comments how many contaminants that popped up for you in your that exceeded their guidelines. And there's other contaminants in the water as well that you can see down here. All right, let's get back to our presentation now. So great, you're thinking nothing's safe. How am I supposed to get safe, clean water for me and my family? And don't worry, we're gonna cover that. So step one, ID what's in your water. Find out what's in your water. We just did that. I just showed you guys a tool to do that. Step two is to remove the harmful toxins, but we want to leave the good minerals if possible. And when I say if possible, if your water is so contaminated that you have to use something like reverse osmosis, which takes everything out, you're not going to have anything left in the water, including the good minerals. But that's very, very rare that the water is usually that bad where you need RO. And everybody is thinking RO nowadays because they're thinking, well, I'm just going to take everything out of the water. You don't want to do that if you don't have to. And we'll get into that in a little bit. Step three is enhance your water to aid your body back to homeostasis. Homeostasis is a fine balance. And your body always wants to achieve homeostasis. And there's lots of mechanisms that our bodies do on a daily level to try to bring us back to that, balanced state of health, which is homeostasis. But with everything we're being bombarded with, all of these toxins, all these chemicals, stress, it's very hard for our bodies to do that. And we get into states of oxidative stress beyond what we can handle, our own bodies and our own systems can handle. We need to give our bodies a little help to get back to that state. So as we've mentioned, for tap water, go into ewg.org /tap water. And again, this is if you have city water, a municipality. If you're on well water, you're going to want to go and get your latest well report. They should be done annually at a minimum if you have a private well, to make sure that you're not getting any bacteria contamination or anything else going on. And then if you have a feeling that, okay, well, yeah, I see what's in my tap water, and yeah, I have my well report, but I think something else is going on. It's either my water's tasting funny and I'm not seeing it in the report, or you have a suspicion that maybe, okay, there's an industrial site nearby and they just had a chemical spill, and maybe it didn't affect the entire municipality or that water company, but maybe you're getting something leached into your home, and you want to find out what's in your water. This is a very good site, and I'll drop my my link in here. I do have an affiliate link where I do collect a small commission if someone decides to order a test. But this is the one I found. It's called My Tap Score, to be very reputable, a very good independent third-party test to have your water officially tested by a lab instead of just doing any type of chemical strip. So you may or may not be accurate. This is a very thorough, very good test site that you can use for both city and for well, and there's all sorts of other things that you can test for specifically, whether it's bacteria or other things that are on their site. So I will put my my affiliate link down in the comments below this presentation, so you guys can check that out as well if it's interesting. All right. So step 2, remove the harmful toxins, but leave the good minerals. Look, don't go to your big box store and just think, oh, okay, I'll just grab that filter off the shelf. It's a carbon filter. Most filters are carbon filters, and carbon filters are very good. They remove a lot of contaminants, but they may not remove specific ones that you have in your water. So with all the different options out there, I know it can be difficult. It can be overwhelming, but just know that there is no one size fits all solution. And that's where I come in. So how do you choose the right filters for your drinking water? And what about the water you bathe in? I recommend a company, it's called Ion Faucet, that they take a look based on your address. They take a look at the databases that are out there. They take a look to see if there's anything around your home that might be infecting your water source, as well as the type of pipes based on the age of your house, the type of pipes you may have in your home, to determine all of that and see, okay, based on what we see here and what you want to achieve with a healthy drinking water, they have over a dozen different types of filter media that they recommend that they'll put together in a combination. As you see here, this 3-stage filter, stage 1, 2, and 3 is usually the most common, but they have 1 stage, they have 2 stage, they have 3, they even go up to 4. And they also do provide RO if needed. But again, they realize the importance of wanting to keep those minerals in the water as well. So it's usually a last resort for them too. And that's why I like them. That's why I recommend them. They usually take a day or two to analyze everything, and then they get back to you and they provide you with all the information you need to see, what's in the filter, the specs of it. So it's not just some random blind thing that's coming in a container and you don't know what it is. They also have a better life than a lot of the filters that I see out there, usually between 6 to 12 months. And their pricing is very reasonable. Again, from what I've seen, you just unscrew these outer housings, the inner cartridge comes out, you put the new one in. We change ours every 8 to 12 months, depending on our water usage. And they've worked great for us. For bathing, you see this little gem right over here. I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I'm going to call it the Rolls Royce of showers, guys. This thing blows the pants off of these cheap little shower head filters that you see. I do not recommend those, by the way. If you look at them, they have all the hype. They say they remove all the chlorine. You go into the details of the actual data and the spec sheets, they wind up not. They maybe filter out 60 to 70% of it, and they usually don't last more than a month or two. And after that, if you leave them in there, those contaminants are going to continue to build up in there, and then they're going to start leaching out into your shower again. It'd be very dangerous. So solutions that provide a tailored solution to your home, drinking, bathing waters, that's the answer. And that's where we come in. That's where we help people that, providing a filtered service for your drinking water. That's something free that we offer. We are affiliated with the company that provides this shower unit here. And it does provide a mineral ion hot spring water that's just, it's nice to bathe in. I mean, you can smell a difference, you can feel a difference. When you get out of the shower, you feel rejuvenated, and you know that it's taken out all those harmful contaminants that are in your water. It's amazing. So we've covered step 1, IDing what's in your water. We've covered step 2, removing the harmful toxins, but leaving the good minerals. Now we want to get into step 3, enhancing your water to aid your body back to homeostasis. And what we mean is, we want to bring water back to the way nature intended it. Nature didn't intend to have chlorine in the water and all these other harmful cancer-causing, thyroid-causing issues, all of those things. There is one type of water that above all others has the potential to help us combat all of these issues we're bombarded with today. This water contains a very specific ingredient that's already found in our bodies and is created by our digestive system. The ingredient is known as molecular hydrogen, other known as hydrogen gas. Now, it's in our bodies, but when you dissolve it in the water at higher concentration, it turns the water into a substance that's been shown to have therapeutic potential in over 170 different disease models, and it benefits every organ in our bodies. So it has the ability to act as a selective antioxidant, only going after the excess, also very dangerous hydroxyl radicals that create damage to our bodies, as well as upregulating the production of our body's own antioxidant systems. So It does all this, guys, with no negative side effects. So there's over 2,000 studies. They've really discovered it back in 2007. Scientists were really starting to look into this and see, okay, what's going on here? And that's where they discovered molecular hydrogen. And the interesting thing with it, it's so safe, is the reason being because it's selective, like I mentioned. If your body's at homeostasis already, you're not going to notice a difference when you drink this water. Your body's going to stay in homeostasis. But if, let's say, your body gets into a state of oxidative stress, it's too much, you're being overburdened with, free radicals and things like that, your body needs help. That's where it'll come in, and it'll actually render these hydroxyl radicals and create just a water molecule out of them. So it takes them from a very nasty free radical, which its only job is to kill things. It's not a signaling molecule. Like, we do need, antioxidants and reactive oxygen species live together in equilibrium. They have their own, we think antioxidants are great, but you can overdo it in antioxidants, and reduction signaling molecules also can get on the high side. So you want to keep them both at a level balance and make sure that they're good. That's where the molecular hydrogen comes in. So you're wondering, all right, how do I get this water in my home? And the way that you do that is this little device right here. It's a little bit smaller than a coffee maker. It sits right on your counter, and we decided to buy one. This is called the Enagic Kangen 8 water ionizer. Now, this is their most powerful antioxidant water machine that they have. Maximum therapeutic level of dissolved hydrogen, capable of producing 5 different types of water. So I only really talked about the one, and that's the hydrogen water, also known as Kangen water. But it makes other types of waters that allow you to replace your cleaning and beauty supplies with healthy, toxin-free water and solutions. So here's the different types of waters that this machine makes. It makes a strong Kangen water, which is not for drinking. It's very high in its pH. And the pH is really just the potential of hydrogen. So it's really measuring the hydrogen ions, things like that. It does have higher concentrations of molecular hydrogen, but there's also things in here that you don't want to drink because it's too alkaline. But that is a degreaser, guys. And we've used this for 2 years now. We haven't had any other chemicals, any other degreasing ingredients in our home. We've just been using that strong Kangen water to knock out all the grease stains that we have, on our counters. We can use it to break down oil-based pesticides on our fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of different uses for it. You can even use it as laundry detergent. Very, very useful water. The next one is Kangen water, and that's got a range from 8.5 to 9.5 on the pH scale. And again, it's really more of a misnomer. The main thing here is this is just a less, the 8.5 is just a lower power value. So you're getting a little bit less of the molecular hydrogen. But some people, they're so out of balance, they're so out of homeostasis, they have to start down there because their body can go into a state of detox, and they can start having side effects that aren't good. They can start having digestive side effects from that detox and getting those toxins out of their body. They need to start at a lower level and then work their way up. 9.5 being the highest for the drinking water. I've tested this water. Now, in order to have therapeutic benefits, in all these studies, they found the range of the hydrogen is between 0.5 and 1.6 parts per million. This machine in our home, with the filters we have, we've gotten that max range of 1.6. So that's good to see. And again, your source water can vary this level. The amount of minerals in the water can also vary it. Again, that's why we want to leave the minerals, but take out the bad stuff. But what we've done is provided a solution to optimize the water that's going to be going into this machine so that we get the best results coming out of it. The next one is the clean water, which is just neutral. It's pH of 7 or whatever the pH of your incoming water is. It doesn't use the electrolysis process, which is what is used to create these other waters. It's just filtered through the system. Now, this machine does have a very small carbon filter in it, which is mainly for chlorine and things like that, and odor and taste. But the pre-filters are really taking the brunt of the work. They're really doing a lot of the heavy lifting as far as removing the toxins. So that filter inside the K8 machine is basically just a final polishing, final touch type filter, something like you'd have in your refrigerator. All right, then you have beauty water. So when this machine is running, it actually has 2 lines. It has one on the top and one on the bottom. So when you're getting, let's say, 10 pH at the top, you're getting 4 out of the bottom. So there's an acidic and an alkaline water coming out at the same time. Now, this slightly acidic one is the beauty water, and that's being made at the same time that the Kangen water is coming out the top. This is coming out the bottom. And people have used this as astringents, toners. We can also use it to rinse off certain fruits and vegetables. But it's also like a shine water is the other name for it. So it's good for polishing stainless steels, glass cleaner. We use it on all our mirrors and windows in our home. You can even use it in your hair, as they're showing here, just to try to, it rehydrates your hair. Instead of using conditioner or detangler, you can certainly use this instead. So more solutions for the home that are toxin-free, chemical-free, and safe. And then this last water here, last but definitely not least, strong acidic water. This is made at the same time as the strong Kangen water is made. So when you have the strong Kangen water coming out the top, you have the strong acidic water coming out the bottom. Now, what happens when you choose this option is the system has a little reservoir that contains saline solution. And it's not used for any of the drinking waters. The machine will actually beep at you to let you know that you're not supposed to be drinking the water right now that's coming out of the machine. It'll pull in this saline solution and mix it into the electrolysis cell, and it'll create this strong acidic water and this strong Kangen water. Now, one of the things that it creates by doing that, by having that saline go through the electrolysis process, is something known as electrolyzed oxidizing water, which contains an ingredient known as hypochlorous acid. So EOW water is a very effective disinfectant. And when mixed with, and when it always contains certain levels of hypochlorous acid by itself is a very effective, 10 times more effective than bleach water at killing viruses and bacteria. It's a fungicide. It's been proven to kill, things like E. coli, MRSA, and things even more harmful than that nasty little bug that's going around today. So we use this, but again, it's so safe that you can even use it on your skin as a sanitizer. So no more alcohol-based sanitizers. We use this. You can even spray it on open wounds and cuts. I'm not saying that you need to just do that instead of go to the ER. If you have a serious emergency, please go see your doctor or go to the ER. But if you have a little scrape, it's definitely great for cleaning. It doesn't burn. For cleaning and disinfecting that wound. Your body actually creates hypochlorous acid and releases it when you are wounded to try to help prevent infection. So you're aiding your body by using the same ingredients and same chemicals that your body uses. And you can even use it as mouthwash. I use it as mouthwash every day. It acts like a light whitener as well. So many, many uses. There's probably over 100 different uses I could do a whole presentation on just for all these different waters. But that's what this one device has allowed us to do in our home. And the device itself, it's made in Japan. The company's been around for almost 50 years now. They are certified in multiple different ISO certifications. They're certified as a medical grade equipment device manufacturer in Japan. And they take quality very, very seriously. Even the process to become a medical equipment device manufacturer in Japan is much more stringent than even here in the States with the FDA. So by 5 to 7 years more of testing and research that needs to be done in order to get that qualification. The same company also offers that shower solution that I mentioned before. So this is it. This is the Anespa Mineral Ion Water Spa System. This filters out 100% of the chlorine and other harmful chemicals, as well as bacteria, and it contains minerals from the healing hot springs of Japan. So it transforms your shower and your bath into a toxin-free mineral ion spa water. So it has ingredients like a tufa mineral stone that's taken directly from the Futamata Radium Hot Spring in Hokkaido, Japan. Gives the water the same gentle, relaxing effect of a hot spring. It has an MIC stone that generates activated mild alkaline water, which is also good for your skin. And then it has a power stone, which generates strong negative ions. It also has some rare earth magnets in there that help to ionize the water even further. Guys, when I take a shower in this, I just feel rejuvenated. You feel cleaner. You breathe easier because you're not breathing in that chloroform that's trying to knock you out and cause cancer. This system, the filters last. The outer filter that takes all the contaminants out, that's changed every year. The internal one that has all these healthy stones in it, these spa mineral stones, that gets changed out every 3 years. So It was a very quick, I covered a lot of information. But again, we're trying to get back to water the way nature intended. And now that you've been made aware, it's time to stop, take action. So you want to stop drinking harmful toxins, stop absorbing toxins while you bathe and shower, start protecting yourself and your family by preventing these toxins from entering your life. Start replenishing your body with water rich in dissolved hydrogen and minerals that aid in your body getting back to the homeostasis and well-being. And to get started, just send us a message or comment below. And here's to a more aware and healthier you. Take care.